Well, the industry has continued its momentum, holding at the 190 ADS, with continued growth coming from both industry cohorts. However, occupancy levels did not keep up with the growing ADS trend, as the ongoing impact of COVID is causing headwinds on the industry, with private operators losing out on many new admissions from hospitals. We also launched our public ANAC Essentials courses with very strong showings from providers, as many individuals seek to explore their organization's ACFI to ANAC transition. We'll explore this and more on Mirus Industry Analysis September edition. Well, the August period saw a continued growth in overall average daily subsidy as the industry maintained its levels above 190 ADS. With both private and not-for-profit operators continuing to move upwards, the private operators are now focusing on their $200 a day ADS milestone. Most of the strong growth came from both industry segments, continuing their focus on voluntary submission activities, achieving just over 3.5% levels for the not-for-profits, and the private operators show an extremely strong performance of 4.29% of total claims submitted as voluntary reappraisals in the month of August alone. The state of claims in Medicare that are now greater than 12 months edged up slightly, indicating that the strong voluntary reappraisal performance came from the more recent claims, which were within 12 months of age in their Medicare systems. And with that, it also showed that 4B pain management claiming is still the continued preference for providers, as it edged up now for the 11th month in a row. Well, we are encouraging providers to start their ANAC journey now so they can begin to plan out and absorb what they need to know now for their organization's transition. We know there are many questions that you will have, and through working with Services Australia, the Department of Health, and with your individual teams, we will see this transition through together. If we look back over the last two funding reforms, we can see historically these reforms have had a period of decrease and flat government expenditure as providers and their teams understand the new funding models. However, the industry is proving to adapt to funding reforms quicker each time, as we can see from the RCS to the ACFI funding reform periods in which we had an experienced flat government expenditure. So what is the takeaway? Let's plan across your streams of finance, people, processes, systems, and data, so this change is better than before. Well, August was an interesting month for admissions, and I think the business hypothesis is confirmed now that COVID is not good for admissions. We saw a very slight decline again in occupancy this month, as it continues its run at 88% of occupied bed days in the Medicare system. The private segment achieved only 60 admissions across our data sample in the month of August alone, and nil admissions coming in through new entry from hospital channels. This slightly opened the acuity levels for entry ACFIs when compared to departures, as there is an emerging trend on the not-for-profits residents now staying for longer than 6 months, as the portion of total residents defined as short-term stay, representing now less than 25% of their total claim segment. Where respite entry continued to be in favor during the country's ongoing lockdown activities, the industry continued to utilize its respite bed days, consuming a further 10,000 more respite bed days than last month. The average age of the resident entering care aligned across all three segments to about 85 years of age. However, the age of 85 presents differently to not-for-profits and private operators, with private operators now achieving on average $10 more a day acuity at entry than not-for-profits. Within workforce management for the month of August, the overall care minutes maintained flat at an average about 152 minutes worked on a per bed per day basis, with the non-care minutes sliding slightly. However, the strongest performance was achieved in the allied health professionals, jumping 30% over the month of August, as providers continue to seek out opportunities for further income growth through their pain management activities. Well, from the 1st of September this year, all residential aged care providers are required now to have a behavioral support plan in place for each consumer that needs behavioral support, where the use of restricted practice has been assessed as necessary, and where restricted practice is currently being utilized. Please reach out to quality and compliance teams if you have any questions or want to explore further how we can assist you with your behavioral support plans. At Mirus, it is our intention to support both industry and government through the transition from ACFI to ANAC. As a first step to assess your readiness to respond to ANAC, please visit our website and step through your MAP, the Mirus ACFI to ANAC pathway and diagnostic tool. Here you will find some self-assessed questions, as well as a plan and a framework for the organization to ready itself for the upcoming transition. Thank you again for joining us today. I'm Robert Cabino, and this has been Mirus Industry Analysis September edition.